Live. We are live. Hello and welcome to Grace of Westminster celebration live stream of Crystal Palace finally winning a trophy for the first time ever. FA Cup. Here it is. I am happy. It's my live stream. I can do what I want. Hello and everyone. This is actually a Nikon live stream. It's not a football live stream, but thanks for everyone for joining me today. Today we are going to talk about your controversial, aka unpopular, photography opinion, and it's 2025 edition. We do it every year. Let's see if your unpopular opinions have changed. Let me know in live chat. For some of you who join us for the first time, this is a Nikon channel. We talk about everything Nikon here with all sorts of things thrown in from pop culture, football, but also photography, of course. So thanks everyone who joined us today. We've got John Hughes, Roy Bigsby, Simon Ma, and Christopher Clark, Rick Getty, Jacob, Robert M., John Rayleigh, Simon Hopkinson, Warren Devine, Kenrick McMahon, fantastic, a lot of people, Craig C., David Muscori in the chat, Paul P., Andy Hayter, welcome back, Michael Reed, David the Drunk Wedding Photographer as well, and Rich Holland, Nick Harrison. So many people. Thank you very much, Trevor. All good to see you all. Let me know, what do you think is your opinion, but you think it's unpopular and controversial? The reason why I started to do this, and by the way, the coffee fund is open. I'm going to have coffee now as well. I've been celebrating all week. That all happened on Saturday. I didn't want to talk about it last Friday about the FA Cup because I didn't want to jinx it, if you see what I mean. So I was quiet. But then we've been celebrating the whole Friday evening, and then on Sunday there was Photographica in Russell Square in London. So thank you very much for everyone who stopped by and say hello to me. That was amazing. Big events, lots of cameras and lenses for sale. Most of them are vintage film cameras, but there were some digital cameras as well for sale. So that was fun. And then, yes, this week, I just thought, well, we're celebrating for the whole week now. That's it. We go to Europe now. We're going to go to Europe. Who knows? Maybe we visit some European countries like, let's say, Slovakia. So we have people watching us from Slovakia as well. But the reason why I'm doing this one, normally we do it around this time of the year, the controversial opinion, is Fujifilm announced half X or X-Half camera. And I'm normally the person who is not triggered very easily. And one of the things is, tell me actually how's the audio and video, because I don't know, maybe I'm talking, you can't hear me at all. But normally I'll say like, okay, well, look, if it caters to the market and gets more people to start photography, that's a good thing. Then this camera comes out and you look at those videos online, and again, this is beef like not with Fujifilm, but it's also with YouTube and marketing department, how we're all going to pretend now that it's a film camera with digital. Personally, it really triggered me. I personally think that Fujifilm became a Nintendo, officially a Nintendo of a photography world. So Nintendo is, if you know video games, obviously Nintendo is a producer of consoles like Nintendo Entertainment System down to Switch 2 that's been launched next month. But they were always coming out with consoles like Wii, which would have motion controls built in. They had VR. They had like Nintendo's VR, something like a headset where you look through back in the day and stuff like this. So they were coming out with some quirky concepts that either worked, like even Nintendo 3DS, which had the 3D screen and a clamshell handheld device, which either worked really well and they sold millions of those, or some of them didn't work well, like, let's say, Wii U console or Nintendo virtual reality side of things. So Fujifilm is doing those things. So obviously, they have their photography market, but then they have their Instax market. You know, an Instax market is obviously aimed for, you know, younger demographic who love instant photography, but obviously people shooting Polaroids and things like this. So it's good that they have this, and obviously it's a massive income revenue stream for them. Yeah, so that's great. They obviously have their APS-C line of XF, yeah, so which includes the X-T5, X Pro 3 and stuff like this. They have their GFX medium format series, which is also very, very nice, and it's reasonably affordable because the next one up is Hasselblad, which is a lot of money for a lot of people. And then we have Fuji X-Half, which presents something to be something that is not. So that's the thing. It's not even half frame sensor if you would compare it to what we call half frame of the 35mm sensor. It's smaller, So a lot of it is marketing. Let's pretend that it's a film camera, but it shoots digitally, And personally, I don't get it. And call me old, call me, but I genuinely try to understand weird concepts and, but I feel like this is a lot of a marketing exercise where we pretending the toy that costs $800, right, is absolutely amazing toy. We all might have it. And you tell me that film photography is expensive. Well, then you're going to go buy and spend $800 on something like this. So this is my controversial, unpopular opinion. Hopefully that will set you off for your controversial opinion, because this is the stream where we kind of let this all out in the wild, release that rage for the rest of the year. We are nice and calm and more civil, if you see what I mean. So let's do that. I've started you off, and let's see what you guys say in the comments here. I also will take all the congratulations you can give me personally by getting FA Cup. Obviously, I am single-handedly brought Crystal Palace to the final. I'm kidding, of course, but it's always good when supporting a local team, which is not as top 6 or top 8 teams, whatever. Doesn't our budgets are not there, but and you see it losing all the time, and obviously we are kind of mid-tier team and stuff like this. Like when we win something, it means a lot. That's the thing, and it means a lot to the community as well. So that's why it is important. That's why I'm wearing this T-shirt today. By the way, Greg has not approved of that, but he had a good chuckle when he saw me doing that. All right, so let's see. So Roy Bigsby says, my winch is pixel shift, useful but overrated and used to sell cameras. It's a marketing trick. I agree with you. I mean, I look at it, pixel shift for negative, basically, scanning, DSLR scanning. And as I say, I've set up once GFX 100 megapixel camera and did a pixel shift on 35mm negative. I couldn't see any difference really between the two. We get a lot of stick for our video about pixel shift on Nikon ZF. Because they say, well, I don't really see the difference. Well, that's the whole point, that when we did this pixel shift video, we also couldn't see the difference, but we let it out because that's our finding. We're not trying to sugarcoat something that is not there, if you see what I mean. So obviously we could test it in a different environment as well, but what results we did in that particular environment gave us results that are very indistinguishable, and that really we had hard to look for any difference of this. I agree on this one, Roy. I don't think it's super controversial, but I agree with you that it shouldn't be sold as a as a point of selling cameras. I guess it's a nice feature to have for people who need it. I don't think it's the most demanded feature, but you ask people like Nikon Z9 users asking for pixel shift, who still yet to receive this feature. That's I guess some people need it, some people don't. I used it basically a couple of times. Don't think for me personally it does anything. All right, let me see. It says Simon Ma, who says, good morning, Con. Back with you live after amazing vacation across Japan. Miss your live podcast. Have a fantastic show and coffee. Where did you go in Japan, Simon? I would love to go to Japan again. I've been there twice. I've done the Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto. I did Kanazawa as well. Because I have good friends who live there. So, yes, but I always want to go towards Hokkaido as well. And I want to go to Okinawa as well. It's a very interesting place because it's a mixture of Japanese culture with American military base. So their food is actually quite interesting because it's kind of a mixture of fast food with the traditional Japanese food. So, and it's warm there, that's the thing. So, surprisingly, last year I almost went there because the flights weren't that expensive actually. So yeah, congratulations. I hope you enjoyed as well, but let me know where you went. Let's see more of your comments. I want your controversial opinion here. Rick Gage says, then look at Con. He's ripped. Good morning, you all from Surrey in humid southern USA. That's my take on Rambo. I think it's a Rambo 3. It's not the First Blood. I think Rambo the First Blood is my favorite Rambo of them all. It's the movie that before it all came action, it's actually a good movie overall, I think, so it's from a movie point of view. So yeah, but I thought it was a good shot, so I've used that one. Hello everyone. David Muscor says, good morning. My unpopular opinion would be that it's more about the gimmicks in camera than photography. Pixels and pixels and more pixels. This is why I mainly shoot film. I agree with you. I've worked for Grazer Smith a very long time. Majority of my time was to be a technical advisor, so I would be the person to go to on the technical side of things. And my brain was melting all the time when all I had to talk about is amount of focus points and pixels and low light performance and things like that. It's boring, and and that's what kind of, if you saw videos on our channel, I always say it's all this stuff bores me to death. It's fun, it gets the numbers for the viewers, but realistically speaking, I'm enjoying photography as a art, as a medium. I don't care what this image is taken with. That's my personal opinion. So that's the thing. Your new camera can take as good shots as the camera that, let's say, was around 100 years ago. That's the thing. At the end of the day, it comes down to photography. And in this case, I agree with David, absolutely. That's why I kind of shoot a lot more film for my personal stuff, because I use digital camera on a daily basis. I don't have fun with digital cameras as much as I have with film cameras. That's the thing. And a camera like X-Half is not going to change my opinion. I'm not going to bash it. It's just, it's not camera for me. And it's probably the first camera that I feel really strong about in this case. And that's the thing. But good luck. I mean, if Fuji sells, bajillion of them, and it brings more people to photography, and maybe bring more people to film photography, because they think, well, I kind of time to fake pretend. Can you fake pretend? Being a film photographer with my digital camera, and then maybe they'll buy a proper film camera. Who knows? But from that point it's just the maxing exercise and nothingness, and that's kind of what I don't like. And this brings me another beef with YouTube, particular, where I kind of stopped watching YouTube from the point, like, I have a channel that I like, and I'm sure you also quite picky what you choose, but I kind of dislike where a lot of videos tries to sell you on a feel and give you like a nice cinematography, but realistically it's a good advertisement for the product. And I am tired of this. I mean, again, like this stuff that came with X-Half, it's exactly what it is, where they try to sell you on the feel more than anything else. But it's $800 item, which has a very tiny sensor, and it pretends that it's a film camera, where you can actually get a real film camera and shoot film. Again, my personal criticize, I personally think that I would love Fujifilm to produce more film. So be Fuji Film and not Fuji Digital. If you see, get us more Velvis and Provis in our hands, and that's I think that would do wonders. And some C41. Please. I love Fujifilm. I have GFX system, and I shot with X Pro series cameras. That is not my camera, and I'd rather buy Instax personally. Here we are. Roy Bixby says Nikon is #1 seller in Japan. Yes, my colleague Steve, who you met on the live stream, sent me this, and apparently the news came out of Digital Camera World stating that it's for the first time where actually Nikon increased, is the first basically in sales compared to any other brands, and took the market share over other brands. So big congratulations to Nikon, well done. Good to hear. That means that Nikon is doing something right. We've been Nikon guys for a very long time, but one of the things is obviously it's getting new people, increasing the market share, and I think it's absolutely fantastic news, and I really appreciate that. All right, I'm going to scroll down because I'm still way up in the comments, but hopefully I'll see get to your comments. That's what you were saying on what I said, but let's see what Andy says here. So he says, hello from the sun for the first time this week in Mechanicsburg, PA, USA. Tomorrow's Blue Angels Air Show. I have photo pit passes. Fantastic question. Has anyone shot from photo pit at an air show? I hope people answered your question. I haven't shot air shows. I've been to the Rolls-Royce museum where I saw a lot of engines. Plane agents. That as far that's as far as I went. But I know Steve does and goes to air shows and Leela. So maybe next time I have Steve on the channel, then we will probably talk a lot more about that. Warren Divine says iPhone AI only images. So I saw your your beef is with that. I thought about AI. And I think AI is not that bad until it starts to kill us. That's kind of my personal opinion. It's interesting how we've changed in the last 5 years. Obviously, it's an interesting tool if it's that gives value if you know how to use it. But there's a lot of schlock out there. And in terms of this, where the blogs are not becoming blogs because they're automatically written by AI, I don't like this. Let's say I've written a blog about Kentmere 200, but I've written it by myself. I'm not really good at writing. I can talk a lot, but I'm not really good at writing, but I'm happy that I've written it myself and I didn't use AI for this. AI generation images are not going to take away your jobs, professional photographers' jobs. But as with everything, I think we will have to adjust as photographers, especially professional photographers and things like this. That's my opinion about it, but, you know, the problem is, yeah, it's not going to go away. That's the thing. And unfortunately, yeah, I think photographers will need to adjust. And I think, like, let's say wedding photography is never going to go away because AI can't generate your memories, you know, things like this. But yeah, a lot of this stuff can be, you know, can be changed, and you know, and we will need to, as photographers, look into that and see what value we can give where the tools become a lot more available and they become better and better and better. But definitely it is a trend. And John Hughes says AI is just one of more tools for us to use. So there's big discussion in the live chat about this. I absolutely agree with you. Andy Hates says, my controversial opinion is to break all the rules, especially the rule of thirds. And I'm all up for this, Andy, because, you know, like, we shouldn't really care what, you know, if we think this is good shot, that's all we should care about. That's the thing. You know, I think once I showed one of the images from my camera, and so I said, oh, your horizon line is slightly skewed. And I personally couldn't care less, because I don't look at horizon line. I'm not trying to make a perfect landscape or something like this. You know, if the show works for me, it works for me, and that's all that matters. You know, when, you know, at the end of the day, I think everyone's work should talk for itself, and if you're happy with your own work, that's absolutely fine. We're not perfectionists. That's the thing. You know, I think photography is there. It's nice to have technical thing, but I think if photography talks by what it shows and what it represents, and, you know, and what it talks about, I think is more important than if your horizon line is not straight, or your rule of 4/3 is not there, or you crop in the wrong place, let's say, or something like this. You know, that's the thing. Obviously, it's when we learn, it's important to learn and know about those things. I'm not saying we need to disregard all rules. I think we need to know all rules, that they're there. But at the end of the day, once you're aware of all the rules, and when you choose whatever you choose to achieve whatever you want to achieve, that's the most important. When you do it blindly, it's a different story. I agree with you. But when you have the knowledge and you break the rules for that specific purpose, then kudos to you. That's you know, and that's a fantastic opinion, Andy. I really appreciate it. All right, let's see. More controversial opinions, please. Audio and video is 5. Thank you, Joe. After 20 minutes of streaming, I finally saw someone confirming that actually they can hear me and see me. Okay, that's good news. Michael Reed says, nobody photographs images of fossils and rock structures as artistic images. I'm definitely a disgruntled geologist. Michael, you should be a pioneer of this field and create some arty photographs of fossils and stones and rocks and things like this. So the niche is there to be taken, Michael. So absolutely, I think, you do this, people will follow your lead. But it's a very interesting comment. I like that. I really like this. Craig says, I think we need to get in the habit of clarifying AI. It covers a lot of tools now, generative masking, subject tracking, etc., etc. My AI line is using generative fill. I won't touch it. Generative fill, interesting. Yeah, I agree. But at the same time, we use a couple of times for our YouTube covers. But YouTube covers are not art. It's a throwaway piece for for one video or something like this. So that I agree. But I think it's the level. Yeah, if you need to use something to create something very quickly, it's absolutely fine. If you are creating something with AI and then you say it's your work, that's a different story. I know how now is a new trend is we say I'm an AI artist. So I'm an artist of typing in commands in a line and then computer, AI is doing all the work. So I'm an AI artist. So I find this controversial. I wouldn't call those people artists, but again, sometimes art is misunderstood historically. So maybe I'm in the wrong here. Maybe I am, kind of an old man, shouting into the clouds and skies, So that's the thing. Who knows? That's the thing. But there are certain tools that can help you and improve your stuff. There's certain things that are being trained on creations that been produced by the real humans, and then without their permission as well. I find this shady bit of shady practice by all those big industry companies. David the Drunk Wedding Photographer says, had it not been for AI, my writing would never be gotten to the level it is now. I see what you mean. I played with this. And I can see what you're saying there, definitely. But I am trying to write by myself, and it's tough. It's really tough. That's the thing. It's so easy to talk into the camera. Well, it takes practice, as with everything, and I guess writing is the practice as well. That we need to train our writing muscles, into writing a lot, and then hopefully we can write long books and great books like Becky, but I know exactly what you mean. I am struggling with writing. That's the thing. I agree. Sometimes it's much easier to generate an article and then work your way through that because it provides the structure of the article. I see the only problem is if you look at, you can now see what AI blog is written, how it's written, because it's kind of, once you see how it creates those articles and which points it represents, then you see that, this article was written by AI. That's the thing. So definitely my recommendation there is to mess with structure a bit. But yeah, you've been doing writing a lot more than me. So, I'm sure you're doing I'm sure your writing skills are much, much better. Okay, so let's see. Joe Vlogs, aka Simon Hopkinson, has a question. So FTZ2 for 250 for an extension tube is damaging to Nikon's image. Well, FTZ is an adapter that allows you to use the lenses that are not designed for Z system to be used on Z system. So it's not exactly the extension tube. Interesting take. From my point of view, I mean, look at the prices of the batteries and things like this. So so realistically speaking, it is what it is. But advice there is always buy them together, and you normally get discounts. A lot of dealers were doing them for 150, and I think the best deal was, I think, £99 when you buy it together with the camera and things like this. But it's not exactly an extension tube. Simon, I don't agree with you on that, but yes, it is expensive for what it is. But a lot of camera equipment, camera accessories, are expensive, not just Nikon stuff. I mean, the easier offenders for that would be Leica and Hasselblads, but if you go to Nikon's level, then if you look at Sony and Canon accessories, they are priced about the same level. I agree that, accessories should be cheaper. That's the thing. But from business perspective, it's where they make margins. And a lot of times manufacturers don't make enough margin on their cameras and lenses. So I guess something has to give. Interesting opinion, though. It is controversial. It is controversial. I like that, and I appreciate it. All right. Thank Paul. He says, well done on CPFC. We call it CPFC, not the other one. But yes, very happy. Very happy. It definitely, it means a lot. It means a lot. That's the thing. I know that a lot of clubs win there. It's the normal thing. Oh, it's another time. Another year we're at Wembley. What's the point of coming over? Things like this. But the first one is also always the special one. I agree with you. All right. So, Pete Gazzola says, now I understand the thumbnail connectivities when he's off duty. Let's see. I'm not. I'm a very calm person. I'm very calm person. It's this podcast. It's that stream where we need to, we go high energy on this one. All right. That's why I'm having my coffee now. There's discussion about photo, Pete. Angie, I'm glad you're getting good advice there from the people in the live stream. That's good. So David Drunk Wedding Photographer says the Fuji X-Half is hard pass for me at $850. Had it been $350 made of metal, strong, maybe. Well, that's kind of the pop. That's my kind of problem with it. It's too expensive for what it is. And then when people say film photography is expensive, and then you say, well, this is a toy that costs $850. That's where disconnect is for me on so many levels. That's the thing. Again, it's not this stream about Fuji X-Half, but since I had to, share my controversial opinion, that's the one. Thank you very much, Jay Blue, for Coffee Fund. He says, happy Unpopular Friday to everyone. Con, enjoy your coffee. Thanks so much. I am enjoying it. It's very, very tasty. Craig C, though, has an argument for Fuji X-Half. I kind of like the new Fujifilm camera, fun concept. What I saw is a little Foxfilm advanced lever. I smiled. I know, but Fox lever for $850, it's it's a lot of Fox lever. If you see what I mean, that's the thing. I mean, design. If you look at the visual design of the camera, I love it. Like, it's great. It's what it represents. That what kind of annoys me. That's the thing. But again, I'm not going to get my pitchfork out, just a Molotov as on the thumbnail, and go to Fuji House in Covent Garden. That's the thing. If they sell a lot of it, I am going to be pleased because it's great for photography. I hope that eventually will bring people to actually film, or let's say maybe X100V, 6, or or one of those cameras. Who knows? Whatever gets people to actually get cameras and don't use leave their phones and get their camera, proper cameras. Wouldn't call it proper camera, but you know what I mean. Okay. Rant over. Rakesh says 849 is too much for this film. Looks like it was planned for lower price, but because of tariffs got charged 849. I think $600 a right price. Is it though? Is it the right price, Rakesh? I think Pentax 17 is probably then a better choice. That's my controversial opinion. And it's got a bigger half frame on film. Is actually still bigger than the sensor of that camera. That's the thing. But yeah, I guess tariffs plays a lot nowadays into choosing the right price for the camera. I think $699 in the case. Still £700 is a lot of pounds for that. I think Pentax 17 is 549. John is with me on this one. He says, new Fuji is not for me. Hi, Michael. Good to see you. David says, X-Half will do very well in Japan and China. They love small quirky cameras. Quirky is good. Quirky is good. As I say, I'm not going to talk about Fuji X-Half anymore. I said all my points. Yes, I can tell you that Nikon One system, remember those J1, V1, and all those cameras, they sold really well in Asian countries. That is absolutely true compared to, let's say, North America. Still sold okay in Europe, much less in UK. I guess UK is a kind of, we are Europeans at heart, but then we still get a lot of influence from North America. I think we are kind of this in between the two in a way. But I do like to think that we are more European personally. Okay, let's see. Lucas is in the chat. He says, my unpopular opinion, Z63 reads Z63. This isn't Mark. Hi, Mark. No, Mark. Greetings from Slovakia. Well, Lucas, at least you didn't say it's a Z6. 3 or Mark 3. But to be honest with you, as long as we buy the camera we want, doesn't matter how it's pronounced. But yeah, we say Z. Sometimes I say Mark 3, sometimes I say 3. I personally don't have a difference between the two. Doesn't make any words of difference to me personally. But you guys call it how you like it. You know, in North America they call it Z. That's or Nikon. You know, imagine that blasphemy. But I'm just kidding, guys in North America. You know that. But it's an interesting, controversial opinion. So yeah, let's do that one. So Simon says, if I buy a second-hand SLR and import 200,000 images to share or print, I spend more than if I bought a Z8 and imports an equivalent to 20,000 images, and Z8 will be in focus. Well, as we had discussion, Simon, last week about expensive film photography, the mileages varies, right? And if you shoot a lot, so technically, yes, I agree with you. If you buy a D200 for a son, for a couple of Starbucks coffees, and shot 1 million images on it, you will do better than by spending, let's say, buying a Z8 with a set of gear and stuff like this. I agree with you. That's the thing. Craig C says, pixel shift make a huge difference, just has a limited use case, of course. So Craig C, could you just elaborate on this? Because we've, where the benefits are. So for the deniers of pixel shift, then we will know and we will educate them. So yeah, let's do that, Craig C. So I'll wait for this, and hopefully I'll read it in 20 minutes time once I catch up to the bottom of the chat. Lewis P says, hi, Con, I was there yesterday to buy a Z50-250 lens. Greetings to the young lady that helped me, and Daniel for the nice chat. Thank you, Lewis P, for stopping by. The young lady, her name is Chloe. She's our part-time junior sales assistant, and she's absolutely brilliant. So done is done. He's the king of the shop floor, he's our sales manager. So we are very excited to have her on board. She starts it early in May, so come and say hello. We love young people. She does videography. And so if all your video questions, she is the person. And trust me, she's young, but what she knows about videography is a lot more than me or you or everyone in the chat combined, allegedly, of course. But she does BTS on the movie sets and things like this. So definitely, I would say all the video questions go directly to her. Simon was visiting Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto, and Mountain Fuji. Fantastic trip. Absolutely brilliant. I've been twice. I would like to go again and again. That's the thing. I really enjoy the food, the culture. We always end up in karaoke somewhere. That's what we normally do. Have quite a few friends living there, actually. Friends in Tokyo who I met here, but they're from Mongolia, and now they live in Tokyo, which is crazy. But yeah, it's Korean barbecue in Tokyo and then karaoke. That's the plan. Okay, let's see. Andy says, good reasons to stay with the D850 versus mirrorless. No good reason, to be honest with you, but the 850 is absolutely amazing camera. And if you, again, I guess if you don't want to if you don't want to spend more money, then stay with the 850. The thing, because obviously new mirrorless cameras, new lenses, new mirrorless lenses on top of it. So, you know, unless you buy a body and then you kind of use your DSLR lenses on it, f-mount glass, then G850 is fantastic for this. But you know, G850 is brilliant. You know, it's one of the cameras that I kind of keep reminding myself of every month how good it was. That's the thing. We passed that point. We switched a long time ago, but it's the camera that I showed a lot of commercial work with, and you know, it's got a good place kind of in my heart for it, definitely. Simon says the art is the point, not the camera. This is why I shoot digital. Good one. Whatever, guys, float your boat. Honestly, you know, whatever makes you happy, you know, absolutely do what you like. And I think this is what this live stream is about. We welcome everyone, and we can still rant on things, and we can agree, disagree on things. But I absolutely agree with you. Photography, that's the most important thing. And you know, when people say, you know, like when people try to teach something and they say, "Oh, you show me what pictures you've taken," and stuff it's fun argument and all this. But at the end of the day, honestly, as long as you enjoy what you do, and maybe you're not creating amazing shots, and maybe you're taking like shots and it's like, oh, I definitely, you know, like I can see my kind of flaws which you improve on. That means you're learning, and it's your journey of getting better and better as a photographer. You see what I mean? But as long as you enjoy and do it, it's the process, if you see what I mean, that we need to enjoy. And it could be, yeah, as I say, the lace is the most expensive thing in the world. It could be something that you bought for $5 at a thrift store, you know. That is the most important thing in the world. As long as you're happy, and, you know, that's what we're here for. So, you know, definitely. Well, Simon, now you can buy a Fuji X-Half, and you can pretend it's a film camera, and you still shoot digital, you know. So you can do that as well. All right. Craig C says, I said last week, photography, film or digital, can be expensive or inexpensive. I absolutely agree with you. It depends on your choices. You make the gear, you buy. I absolutely agree with you, Craig C. I wouldn't be able to put it better myself. It's perfectly written. I agree with you. Okay, so let's see. David says, they got me feeling something all right with the 850 price tag. Yes, I had a feeling of taking my Molotov and riding a horse as per the thumbnail, you know, towards the Fujifilm house in Covent Garden. Honestly, as I say, probably misunderstood camera, and we are just old. We are old. That's, guys, you need to understand this. We are old. It's not for us. You know. Okay, let's go down the chat and see what people say. So yeah, the Fuji X-Half is a little pricey, maybe. That's half of the dollars towards that 5 Mark II. Keith says, use film 48 years, never again. I use only digital. Now, trust me, your opinion is very popular. It's not controversial. I think shooting film now is more controversial or unpopular. So you're in a good hands here, in a good crowd. Hello, Seth, who is in the chat. Good to see you, Seth. Looking forward to you and Joe McNally coming to London in December. So if you haven't bought your tickets to Joe's workshop, definitely go to Joe McNally's website and book yourself a place, because those things tend to sell out, and they're not gonna extend it or anything like this. So if you are in the UK and you want to see Joe McNally, we sat on the set learning photography and lighting and things like this. Definitely check it out. I think it's on Joe McNally's website, so you can do that. And we're looking forward to have you and Joe, Seth, on another podcast, because we had fun. I'm sure I can commission Becky to be there on the day, and it's going to be called the Gloves Off, the podcast. All right, Trevor Rutkin is in the chat. He says, my personal controversial opinion, I hate the term mindfulness, especially when applied to photography, an unnecessary addition to English language and used to sell books and workshops. I agree in a way. I think mindfulness term I don't know much about mindfulness. We're not going to talk about the feelings and stuff like this, but I know that the term is now like I know that like meditation and yogas and stuff like this. I do find sometimes that I need to do a bit of yoga. I know that's controversial because I work 80 hours a week because I'm basically doing 2 different projects, and that helps me just to remove stress. I would call mindfulness. I don't know, but it definitely helped me to just deal with the stress. Because there's just too many things and the backlog is huge. So, yeah. Interesting opinion, though, Trevor. I agree with you. All right. Ian Moose in the chat. Hello. Good to see you. Simon says, controversial opinion, AI is the future. It allows the wealthy access to skills while denying the skill process to wealth. Welcome to the future. Deep, Simon, I agree. There's a lot to uncover there. Yeah. The more I think about it, I agree. That's good thought. That's good thought. It's. I think we should do AI. We did last year. I think it went really well. I think we should do another AI. Obviously, especially when we talk about AI replacing jobs and things like this. Normally the jobs that are being replaced, they're low wage jobs, but a lot of populations working on the minimum wage and things like this. And obviously those people are being left behind and things like this. So it's a really kind of like. Yeah, like what you said, Simon, it's a really deep topic that I think potentially we may want to discuss in the future. I agree. Okay. Craig C says, he replies to Keith about the film opinion that never again. He says, first 10 plus years I was in film, news photographer, too many darkroom hours. I bet I could still roll my negatives into real and dark bag. Haha, paid my dues. Digital is magic. Well, Craig, I've taken your torch. Yesterday I've developed 25 rolls of black and white, and I've done 42 rolls in C41. Obviously, the black and white rolls are hand developed. So do that. Can do, put the films in the tanks and the reels. Obviously, with my closed eyes, well, it's all done in the dark anyway. I agree with you. We've scanned, I think, over 60 rolls yesterday altogether. Yeah, I am, I'm not a photog on this one. We are lab, photo lab, but those are my days nowadays. Yes. But I do want to set up a darkroom. That's the future project, and it will be eventually, maybe 2-3 more years. I want to have a community darkroom. That's the thing, because I want to go back to printing myself. So why not to just print myself, but also involve community around us? Why not? So, Simon Moss has a question for me. He says, the Planner is not the best Nikon lens. It's big and heavy, overpriced, and personally, a difficult prime length, focal length to use. Optically excellent, though. So, few things to unravel here. So, it's not the best Nikon lens, but optically is excellent. So that we live in a world where some lenses that are optically excellent will be big, expensive, and heavy. That's the thing. To be honest with you, the 135 f2, it's not significantly smaller or lighter. They're quite close. We can Google all together. We can obviously see those things all together. So, but longer lenses tend to get big and heavier on full frame SLR. We be in mirrorless now, but I think the idea was Nikon to give you optical excellence, but plus character as well. Because Planner has quite a bit of character, so this is nice. It's an interesting, controversial opinion. It's definitely controversial. I haven't heard that one before, Simon. So thanks for sharing this with us. That's good. So they're not just popular. We actually get some controversial opinions here as well. Thank you very much, Randall. He says, I like my Nikon J5 and V3. Here we go. Dummy batteries and large storage make them exceptional. I have almost all of the lenses. Enjoy the coffee. I need to have another walk around the city. Cheers. Thank you very much, Randall. I really appreciate this. And you see, again, that's an unpopular, controversial opinion. Nikon One system. people still love it. I know that a lot of people were sticking those V1s and, and J3s and all this and J5s via adapter with some like 500-600 lens. And because it was, I think, 2.7 crop, if I'm not mistaken, that 500 lens gives you something like 1300 mil, focal distance. So you can shoot the moon and see the craters and see the American flag and the, Hasselblads left on the surface of the moon. So, you can do things like this. Look at that. Thank you, Randall. I really appreciate it. All right. Roy says that is only going to get better for sure, and says, so sick of AI and the junk content is flooded my feeds with. The junk content, not just AI, is a massive thing, and that's the reason why I don't really use social media anymore, because you just find yourself just looking at some like absolute junk created, some thirst traps and some AI imagery, all sorts of things on the Instagrams and TikToks and YouTubes of the world. I just want to see my dog and cats videos. I'm just kidding. Leave me alone with the rest. But I absolutely agree with you. I think when we the thing is, like, Trevor mentioned mindfulness and stuff. The thing is, we have so much noise around us. Everything wants our attention. Our attention spans have shortened, especially like younger generations, where if you're not gonna get them in the first 5 seconds, they're gonna move on to the next video. It's a lot. It's a lot to unpack in there. But I agree with you, and obviously AI now helps to create that as well. So that's the thing. So I think the point being there is, it really depends on how AI is being used. If it's used as a tool to help, is one thing. If it's used to create some sort of content where it competes with something randomly generated and competes with a content that people put their sweat and blood into, if you see what I mean, that's a problem. That's a problem. So I agree with you on this. Robert M says, my unpopular opinion is that I like to freeze the motion in waves, waterfalls, and streams. The long exposures look blurry to me. Thank you, Robert M, for sharing this unpopular opinion. This is cool. I really love that one. Let's burn the answer. Book together. It's good. It's good. That's the thing. Whatever makes you happy, it's it's fun. Whatever makes you happy is absolutely great. I love the stream today, guys. It's good opinions right here. Paul P says, can we always have an option to switch off AI, either in camera or processing? For me, AI stands for arrogant ignorance. Well, when we had Bruno on the chat, he said that Nikon is using AI for measurement. Like, there's different ways of AI. Like, there's AI to enhance the image, but there's AI is being used to produce, let's say, your exposure settings. That helps the light meter, and what it does, it trains on images with different situations. Let's say, very simple example, back in the day, you have picture, let's say, of a field with half with the sky, and a lot of the times, all those old cameras would measure for the sky, which means your field comes out completely overexposed. So where AI helps in this case for light meter, it helps to basically say that the sky here is not that important, the field is more important. Why won't we get some sort of average reading for the light meter there? So you see, that's the different use of AI. So, when we talk about it, we're talking about image generation or image enhancing. It's not always that, if you see what I mean. Speaking of which, I completely forgot, but next Friday, we're going to have Nikon Open Day, Q&A session, tech support, all here in the shop. Bruno Murari, who you all know, I've done live stream many, many times together, is coming over here. So he's going to be here for the whole day. I'm going to have him for the live streams as well. Generally, he comes in when Nikon launches a new thing. It's not this time. I think what we're going to talk about next week is, I want to talk to him because he's a cinematographer at heart. So if I'm a photographer at heart, he's a cinematographer. I want to to ask him about cinematography, how he started, what he thinks about, like overall cinematography, why red cameras, what other options there. So this is what we want to talk about next week. Maybe not exactly exciting for you guys in there, but cinematography is a big part of it. And I want to know, I want you to know more Bruno as a person, not just as a Nikon rep. So, but obviously you can ask any technical questions or any Nikon related questions in the chat next week. So please do. We also have a workshop in store with Ben Moore, who is architecture photography. He's also coming in, and it's going to be, they start in the shop and they're going to go for a walk. There's 2 sessions of 2.5 hours. It's a free event which you can book online. We have 2 places left for morning session. Everything else is already pre-booked, but if you want to book it in, definitely get in touch with the shop. They'll send you a link. So if you haven't subscribed to our if you haven't subscribed to our newsletter, then just check it out or check our Instagrams. The link for booking is there. Please do. But yes, next week is an open day, so please come into the shop. We're gonna have deals. We're gonna have some deals that are going to be from Nikon on that specific day that are not going to be advertised anywhere. So I don't know them yet, but Nikon is preparing some deals for us on the day. They're flash sales on something, even better than the current promotion. So, just telling you, I'm going to be in the shop. Come say hello to me as well. We'll be happy to see you, but that's what's happening next week. So, let's go to more of your questions in the chat and your controversial opinions. Simon Moss says, so smartphone photography will not eventually replace ILC, interchangeable lens cameras. Well, the smartphones already replaced the points and shoots. Smartphone, let's say iPhone is the most popular camera in the world, let's be honest. So that's already happened. I think when we talk photography now, in a way, it's a little bit more grand than, let's say, hi-fi niche. If you know what hi-fi is and how expensive things and how niche they can become, speakers, amps, you name it. So I feel like photography becomes like cameras and lenses become the expensive things. But I think, iPhone will lead to people, smartphones will lead to people to buy a more expensive camera eventually. So, it add up this share, but it also will bring people into those cameras and lenses. So that's what I think is happening. Craig says, that said, I appreciate, love, respect the people still shooting film. I love that it's still doing well. Exactly. Thank you, Craig. That means a lot. Yeah, you guys do whatever you want, absolutely, and you enjoy what you like, and that's the most important thing in the world. Chris Clark says it's not the camera that counts, it's the person behind the lens. Absolutely agree with you. Gimmicks Live says, if Nikon was a Premier League club, Z9 is Liverpool, which camera would be Crystal Palace? Z30? I don't know. It's a difficult one. I think it would be a good old trusty D200, but with a CCD sensor, and people will dig it and love this sensor for it being CCD and be amazing for skin reproduction, just beautiful, aka film-like colors, which are not the film, but that's what people like to describe it. Probably that. But what I can tell you is you don't support a club like Crystal Palace because they're famous and they won trophy and their transfer budget is like 200 million things. And you don't. You support the Palace because you moved in the area. That's my personal. I moved in the area. I live there. This is my local club, and that's what I support, regardless if they win or lose. And this is more important for me. I could support Chelsea or Arsenal. I didn't, because technically it's a London club. I didn't. I support Crystal Palace for that specific reason. Through the bad, a lot of it is bad, and good, like day like this, so that's the thing, and that's why it's important. Yeah, D200, I'll take a D200 for Crystal Palace. Thank you, Daniel, who is in the chat. Dan, Louis C, I think he was he came in yesterday, Dan, and he bought something and he talked to you and Chloe. So good that. All right, okay. Let's go down the chat, see if I can catch up with everything. Again, fantastic. Like, I really love engagement today. So I really see a lot of opinions there, which is absolutely amazing. Seth says, oh, by the way, Joe and I are coming back to London for the workshop in December. Hope to see you then. Okay, yeah, we've covered that, Seth. Yeah, definitely. You want to see Joe and Seth, book the place on the workshop. You know, it's one of the things that if you haven't seen them in action, it's absolutely brilliant. That's the thing. And we always love to have you over, guys. Absolutely. Nick Harrison says, AI is invaluable to me and my workflow, mainly to remove distractions in images, not creating unreality. So cables, things like this, unnecessary people, things like this. I see your point, Nick. Absolutely. Andy is asking who's going to build in New York in June, so let Andy know. What is build, by the way, Andy? Tell me what that is. I assume it's something to do with photography or videography, but yeah. Yeah, Nikon schedule that will be published. We had quite a few shows recently. That was absolutely amazing. So from photography show to the cinematographers event in Battersea, plus there was one in Olympia, there's Photo London last week, Photographica, so many things happening. I'm looking forward to autumn as well events and see what Nikon is going to launch later on this year. All right. Let's see. I'm way behind in the chat, so let me just quickly go. John says Zenith E, Crystal Palace 1P. Yeah, okay. Let's go. August AMP said, I'm very keen for Nikon to vastly improve block shot autofocus. A lion's eye passing behind the grass. At 9 focuses on the grass, not the AI. Vastly improved autofocus using predictive algorithm would be welcome. AI is being used for that, first of all. Second of all, you can set up how quickly your camera refocuses from the subject to the area that is closer. So I guess you need to play with your camera a little bit more, though. This thing is highly customizable. So try that first. There's a speed of how quickly you can refocus, so just keep that in mind. Simon says, I want to enter into mirrorless, but I can only do it body first. Nikon could make it easier and sell more if FTZ were not an obstacle. When you buy a body, Simon, normally you get a deal on FTZ. So that's why it's kind of works for you, because if you're looking at the body, speak to your local dealers, and I'm sure they can throw in FTZ at a significant discount with the body. So yeah, I don't think it's an issue, Simon. Definitely. But yeah, lenses will come, I assume. Yeah, one thing at a time, I agree. Okay, pardon me. Champagne Sumo is in chat. Hello, Champagne Sumo. He says, I love the D850. Isn't Nikon selling it for a bit less? Well, they definitely in UK, I don't know what the price in the United States are, but D850 is on sale. It's under current promotion, spring promotion, so there's good savings to be had there. And it's a fantastic, it's the DSLR. I think for me personally, it's the best Nikon DSLR ever made among all of them. Terence is photographing Chelsea in bloom. Fantastic. I hope you enjoy the show. We went to Chelsea Flower Show for, I think, 2-3 years ago with Becky. That's how I learned how to photograph flowers. I pretended I knew how. I, like a fake lever on a Fuji X-Half, I was fake pressing the shutter button, taking photographs of flowers. So when we're doing that, but Chelsea Flowers is a fantastic event. Actually, it's big, it's massive, there's lots of flowers. If you love flowers, it's definitely a good place to come in. I think it lasts like 2 or 3 days. There might be still tickets if you are in London or nearby. All right. All the high English says, as soon as I would get rid of the FTZ1, I would somehow end up with some F-mount lenses. Yes, I still have my FTZ1. I don't have FTZ2. I put my wide lens lenses on Nikon ZF, and they work pretty well. You know, the F-mount lenses. That 40 f2 is absolutely brilliant lens. The 58 1.4 F-mount wide lens is absolutely amazing. Paul P says, now I choose lenses to work with f5, d850 and z9, so the range is not more than how I choose, I guess. Okay, you need to go to f-mount glass, and you can't buy E lenses. E lenses will have electronic aperture, therefore you won't be able to stop the lens down on f5. It will be fully wide open. However, if you go for the G-type lenses, so like 24-70 f2.8G, that one still has a mechanical lever, so you can control it via the front or back command dials that all cameras like f5, d850 and z9 will have. So my advice is really either go for, well, ideally, if you want for them to autofocus, you want to go for AFS, G-type F-mount lenses. That's where those lenses will work on all three cameras. Hopefully that answers your question. D850 Mark II, anybody? Nigel, that is not happening. This, what I can tell you, be the 99.9% without any confirmation from Nikon, but seeing the numbers of lenses and cameras, DSLR cameras sold by Nikon in last 2-3 years, it's not happening. That's my conclusion from it. So that's the thing. DSLR's brand new sales fell off the cliff in the last 3 years. So that's what it is. There's no way around it. So unfortunately, no, I don't think that will happen. Rigay says, Con, I buy all cameras at the thrift store for $5. At least that's what I tell Tanya. Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. You know, when you have a wheel written, that's what I do. You know, you should really write in the wheel a letter to your, relatives, the real cost of your camera. So when it comes to them selling it, if they decide to, hopefully they'll keep them and using them, of course. But if it comes to that, then definitely you want to give them the real prices eventually. But we all use exactly the same trick. Absolutely, I agree. Paul Jordan still looking for Nikon film camera here in New Brunswick, California, I assume. So many great film cameras from Nikon. You can't go wrong. Kirill Grushko is in chat. Hello, Kirill, and says, he asking me, Con, do you ever get tired of photography? If so, how do you recharge and where do you draw inspiration from? Well, the thing about this is I wish I could do a bit more photography, actual photography, the process of taking pictures right now, because I'm working about 80 hours a week right now. So it's crazy. So the thing about this is actually at this moment, I don't do enough photography. So I actually enjoy when I take the camera out with me. And, so in this respect, actually, I kind of have this hunger for photography. But I can tell you, I went through the point where I did a studio photography and I was doing a little work for very little payoff, let's say this, and I completely burned up and I couldn't take a photograph for about maybe a year and a half, where we closed studio down. I just couldn't do photography. I couldn't do anything with photography. That's how, painful it was. And then eventually I kind of got into that. We're talking about 10, 15 years ago. But that's what happened. So, but I would say if you say if you need to recharge from photography, do something else. Read the book, go discover the world without your camera and things like this, so do something else, build a Lego set, all sorts of things, and eventually once you kind of don't do photography for for a month or two, and see if you start to get, your thoughts are coming back oh, maybe I should go take some photographs. Then it's naturally you'll kind of come back to it, that's the thing. But just, try to occupy yourself with something else. For me, as I say, I kind of shoot digital a lot, but, I use it for like throwaway things for, like, and I should film for my personal project. And that's kind of when I should film, I'm excited, on a personal level, it's not for, like, it doesn't work for everyone the same way, but like film photography is what I enjoy. Digital photography is something that I have and it's there and I produce good work. And that's what it is. So for me, that's kind of what I differentiate myself. But as I say, another thing is obviously, we used to do 3 videos a week on all the techie stuff. And again, it came to the point where it just wasn't that interesting to us. Things like this. Speaking of which, that 5 Mark II review is coming out this Sunday. Me and Becky reviewing that 5 Mark II. But hopefully, Kirill, that answers your question. Yeah, find some space from it. That's the thing. So do something else. Just, like tomorrow, I'm going to just enjoy a nice, peaceful day where I'm going to just turn off the phone. Gonna, take Tilly for a long walk. We're gonna walk for 3 hours. I'll have my film camera on it, but I'm not gonna take pictures until I see something interesting, And I think that's gonna be a good time just to clear your mind from all the noise. All right. Days pass says that's the way Con gotta take care of self in between the projects. Thank you. Robert Varner says I still have a Bessler 2.3C enlarger and I bought back in 1970. I need to get enlarger. I want to get Devere 503 or something. If anyone can sell it to me cheap, I'd love to get one of those. Don't have space right now, but there's a lot of things happening next month from my professional level. So there's good things happening there. If you follow my Insta, you'll find out. But yes, community darkroom is something that is close to me, and I like. We're not there yet. We're not anywhere near, but it's something that's potentially, if the stars align, whatever, then yeah, it may happen. That's what I'm looking forward to myself. Kirill says photography doesn't matter, photographers do. That's very interesting opinion as well. Champagne someone said, damn, why did I buy 2 planners? Oh my God. David says Instagram is garbage up now. Randall has a F-mount adapter for Nikon 1. Fantastic. Yeah, lots of long telephoto things. Thank you very much, Gary, who says enjoy your coffee. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Nigel says, best thing about the internet, it gives us access to everything. Worst thing, it gives us access to everything. Absolutely. It comes down to you, how you apply yourself and what information you search for. But that's the thing. Some things that, I do find like interesting is, yes, that you can find some information that is very, very niche that could be like 5 people in the world interested in, and you can find that information, so I really love to go deep into these kind of things as well. So and sometimes you find yourself and it's like, why am I reading this even? So that's the thing. But yes, I think if we can select what we actually need through the noise, I think that's the most important skill for us as human beings to have, because there's definitely a lot more noise around. Michael, you definitely rock photography. I'm all in. Nick Harrison says, agree, Insta has gone downhill drastically, too many ads, follow suggestions, etc., and no consistency on the timeline. Yep, I agree with you on that. Paul Peace is asking, how many people still print photos and how large? A3, I haven't... well, I am printing photos, but for my customers. So we print 6x4s when they order a roll of film, and they can order a set of prints. Surprisingly, people still do this. When we started, we thought that everyone just wants scans, and that's what generally people want nowadays. They want the scans of their film, to share on socials. But there's still people who want their set of prints. So we started to do this. But I do have my printer still, my good old, Canon printer, which is about, something like 10, 15 years old, it does A3+. Last time I printed was about a year ago, one of the prints. That's the thing. My wife commissioned me with my own money to print us some artwork for our living room about a year ago. I haven't done it. So, but she wants, I think, at least something like close to A1 size. So that's the thing. But this I would have to order somewhere else. So I just need to profile calibrate everything and then probably take it to some places like the print space in London or something like this to get them printed. But I definitely want to print black and white once that happens for me. Paul Jordan says FA Cup is classic, just like Nikon ZF. Thank you very much, Paul. I agree with that sentence. Absolutely. Robert says my camera phone is sufficient for photography. I do, and that's absolutely fine. Whatever works for you. That's the most important thing. Don't let other people tell you otherwise. Andy says, I print selectively. I can print up to 13 by 19 inches. Fantastic. Craig C says, I still have D200 with battery grip. And my chat has refreshed, and now I can't see that comment. Where is it? Correct. So I still have my D200 with battery grip, still works like new. Fantastic. I do love a good D200. D200 was my first Nikon digital, not that I personally owned, but that was I introduced to and did quite a lot of work on it. Gen X Live says, love the D200. Champagne says, are Americans welcome to Grays? Of course they are. Guys, we love you, and come over and say hello. I always love when you guys travel to London and say, come stop by to say hello, because it's always nice to put kind of the name into like name to the face, you know, and meet you all. It's all, it's all love on this channel. I can tell you this. It's all love on this channel. So don't worry. The whole idea of this channel is being inclusive to everyone. That's the thing. We may have different political views and things like this, and we may come from different cultures, but at the end of the day, everyone is welcome. That's the thing. That's the thing, and it's the most important thing in the world. If you can stay human beings, if you see what I mean, and listen to each other, that's the most important thing. So I believe in people regardless where you're from. Like that's, where I'm from, where I was born, that's the thing. Like what's happening to my country, so that's the thing. I believe in people. I believe in generally that people are good. All right. So Build is a big photo show put on by B&H, and it's huge. Thank you, Andy. Now I know what that is. So that's good. Martin Hill says, the difference between Liverpool winning a title versus Crystal Palace can be seen in the celebration videos. Two Scousers were cheering, whereas the Palace fans were crying tears of joy. Thank you, Martin. I appreciate it. I mean, obviously, I know that any win means a lot to the fans of the clubs, and obviously, Liverpool did really well. But yeah, for us, it's incredible. It's something that we potentially see once in our lifetime, and that's why it's more cherished. That's the thing. When you win every 3-4 years, or you win a title every year, it's very different. Congratulations on Tottenham Hotspurs for winning Europa League as well. They haven't won anything in a while, so it's Tottenham lads expression, I guess, is no longer taking the place. So that's the thing. But yeah, it's one of the things. Obviously, yeah, we don't win anything. Like supporting club like this, it's quite painful, especially, we've been going through ups and downs, so to have it good like we have now, it's absolutely incredible feeling, absolutely. And we're gonna brag about it until the next season. That's what it is. So Aga says, Con, be sure none of what is being done is AI. There are non-trivial algorithms. Box shot set of 5. The camera identifies the eye but focuses on the closest object, which is the grass. Aga, Bruno is going to be in the chat tomorrow. Maybe you can ask him this question. But yeah, there is a way to customize it, to spend a little bit more time. That's the thing. But yeah, AI is probably will come into that as well. obviously the recognition and things like this, animal recognition, things like this. So knowing that there's a branch and still keeping track of the animal and things like this. So I think we can definitely, if you are here next week, let's ask Bruno that questions. Hopefully he can share a little bit more insights on actually how the system works. Congratulations to Gimmicks and Simon for Liverpool win. Yes, absolutely. Have you noticed that Newcastle, Crystal Palace, and Liverpool all have birds in their in their logos? So there's a theme there for sure, and the Spurs as well. All right, Len as well. Congratulations, fantastic. I must be. John says I must be mad. Tell the wife how much it costs. No, that's what I'm saying. Do it after. Create a letter that that happens after you go to another world. That's the thing. So at least they don't sell things to Grace for £5. So the Z9s and things like this. Have a great weekend, Randall. Yeah, we are wrapping up. It's been a while, so thank you everyone for all your controversial opinions. I think it's been a blast. It's all good to see you. I can see this live stream has been good because you guys in the chat been commenting and talking to each other. So thank you everyone for joining me today. Bruno Munvari from Nikon UK will be here next Friday, so we're gonna have a nice conversation about different things Nikon cinematography. You can ask him any questions. As usual, he won't be able to answer where Z8 Mark II is going to come out because they can't do this. But regardless of this, it's going to be a fun conversation. So thank you everyone for joining me today. I'll see you next week. I'm going to celebrate. Happy bank holiday everyone in the UK as well. All the best. Cheers. Bye-bye.